if you want to catch our beautiful faces live Monday and Wednesday nights, you guys can follow us on Twitch, twitch.com/Daydreamer Media. Click that notification bell so you guys never miss whenever we go live. Welcome into the Fantasy Daydreamers podcast. I am JJ. You guys can follow me at JJ Daydreamers on Twitter. With me, I have Keone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody of all denominations. Oh boy, this was a busy week for my fingers in the Twitterverse. I was typing away throughout the games. Oh boy, there was a lot of stuff to cover. And if you want to see any of it and any future content from me on the Twitterverse, as long as it lasts, who knows how long that will be, it's at Daydreamer Keone.
And producer Ian is on the show today. Let's give it up for him.
Yay. Wait, hold on. I have applause. Okay. My Twitter name is Daydreaming Ian, because we all for some reason did it slightly different from each other, which was perfect, guys. Great planning on us. And Keone, when are you gonna shout out what your Parler handle is, since Twitter's going down, or your Truth Social handle?
Yo, we have I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, funny.
Chaos.
Good joke.
It's Twitter or nothing.
Oh yeah, Twitter or
Yeah.
bust.
There you go.
Twitter and bust.
Hey, Twitter's good for that.
Okay. Well, speaking of good things, we've had some great football this season, including this week. We had some just amazing games. Let's talk a little bit about that Bills-Vikings game if you guys want to.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Damn, that thing was wild. Just watching it live, thinking that the Bills, get the stop on the 1 yard line, and somehow the Vikings just find a way. This all season long, they have just found a way.
Scrappy.
And this time it wasn't even them though. It was Josh Allen didn't get the snap, or maybe it was the center's fault. Maybe it was Josh Allen's fault. Who knows?
But it was a muff, so it was good for fantasy, because it's like, oh, they got the rid end. It's
not
like
a fumble,
not a fumble. So that was good. I like to see that. But yeah, muff and clutch. Like, this was a huge win, I would say, for Miami in terms of credibility, or not Miami, in terms of Minnesota, in terms of credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, they finally beat an opponent that, in a game where it mattered, and they made plays that mattered, like that changed the course of the game. And so they're legit.
I'll be real honest with you guys. I didn't realize the Vikings were like 6-1 every week until we talk about, hey, somehow the Vikings are still blank and one. And it's just like, oh wow, the Vikings are now 8-1. One more, and they're guaranteed to have a winning season.
Beating quality opponents now in the Bills. So.
Officially, yeah.
The Bills lost 2 straight now.
Yeah, rough.
Ooh.
See, Bills or Texans. Don't know where to go now.
That close. All right, let's get into
same
some
picture.
News. Like the Spider-Man's pointing back and forth. All right, so last week, after our last podcast, the Raiders placed tight end Darren Waller on IR. They also placed wide receiver Hunter Renfrow on IR. So they are 1 game into their 4 games that they have to miss already. But we just thought we would update you guys on that.
Yeah, I don't think their big 4 has played like more than 10% of the snaps together this season. It's ridiculous.
Josh Jacobs time, baby. Bucks running back Leonard Fournette is dealing with a hip injury. They are going into their bye, and the belief is that he will be able to play in their next game. So, good news for Leonard Fournette managers that it doesn't seem like he'll miss time.
But we'll talk about the other guy, but good news for him as well in that backfield.
Definitely. Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy left their game early with a mild ankle injury. It doesn't seem to be the worst, but it's also not the best. It's not going to be a high ankle sprain or anything like that, but he'll probably miss at least a week.
Does that matter for the Broncos?
Yes, but for fantasy, no.
I mean, do you think it could matter for like Cortland Sutton or
no?
Other
offense is so bad that
you got to imagine that there's a max 2 touchdowns to go around a week.
True.
So
yeah,
it's not like
if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something that said that if the Broncos have scored 18 points in all of their losses, they would have won or something like that. Like their defense is just so dominant and their offense is just so terrible.
Yeah. Even Greg Dulcich didn't get off this week.
Yeah. Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster entered concussion protocol on Sunday after he took a nasty hit, scary looking hit for him. He seemed to be doing okay after the game, but expect him to miss some time.
I thought of you, Ian.
I swear to God, all of my receivers took a big shot at like the same 10 minutes. Juju got knocked out, and then Chris Olave took that
cold,
that huge headshot.
Would have been legal 10 years ago.
Oh my God, that would have on YouTube the
greatest play. Yeah,
yeah, that would have been one of the intros to like football someday. Chris Olave got destroyed.
Juju is that's bad. Taking to prom, as they say. Bears running back Khalil Herbert left early with a hip injury. Yeah, backup running back. He was looking good, but him and David Montgomery really not producing for fantasy. It's the Justin Fields show.
He's the number 1 runner on that team. Yeah. And he will be probably for the rest of the season.
Bears tight end Cole Kmet was banged up at the end of the game. Seemed to be dealing with a little bit of a knee injury, but he seemed to be in good spirits after in the locker room. Looks like he'll be good to go.
Huzzah.
Panthers quarterback PJ Walker suffered a high ankle sprain. So back to Baker Mayfield, who's going to start this week for the Panthers.
We're back, baby.
Ooh. Okay.
Sam Darnold will be the backup.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. Is what it is. How do you feel about DJ Moore, Deontay Foreman?
I think for Deontay Foreman especially, it depends on their matchup, because this past week, there was it like the 2 weeks he did really good, and then there was a bad matchup, I think, and he didn't do great. And then this past week he got another, I think, is 130 yards, and so against Atlanta, and so
against
I think
Atlanta again.
Yeah, right. So I think it depends on the matchup for Foreman. DJ Moore, I don't know. He's been so up and down, non-existent this year that I don't know if Baker Mayfield is going to connect with me. He might. I just would not rely on a starting position in my lineup at this point in the season for DJ Moore, maybe.
Yeah, they play the Ravens in week 11, coming off the bye. I'm not starting DJ Moore for sure, and
my team has to be in some shambles.
Yeah, exactly.
Shambles.
Yeah. Foreman could be a spot start there, though. There's not a lot to trust. So Cardinals tight end Zach Ertz left early with a knee injury. It's believed to be season ending, so a target monster there in Arizona. His season seems to be over.
I was going for the consistency, and then he just gets injured early in the game.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Really does.
Yeah.
Rondell Moore?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I like Rondell Moore more.
Because is Marquise Brown out still?
Yes,
Yeah.
Marquise Brown is out. He's expected to be back after their bye.
Okay, so yeah, Rondale Moore. He had a great catch, an amazing catch in this past game, like a stupid catch. So
Like
not
towards the ground.
it was like a one-handed catch that he kind of like cradled while being defended or something. It was.
Was it really low to the ground? Like
He's making it
I don't know.
hobbit
I think he's growing each week. I think he's, he's starting.
I was
to
told
look,
he was a hobbit.
he's starting to look more like Legolas. And maybe by the end of the season, he'll be like
You mean the elf one?
he'll be an Ent by the end of the season.
All
right. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp suffered an ankle injury. He will miss time. The length is still unknown, though. That's rough for your fantasy team right there.
I don't know what offense the Rams have now. Don't get me
Maybe.
wrong, they had terrible offense, but Cooper Kupp was like the one shining light.
Yeah.
If you're like a deep 20-man league, Darrell Henderson.
I think you got to roster Henderson, and I don't want to play him. That's for sure. I don't want to play anyone there.
Yeah.
Chargers tight end Gerald Everett has a groin injury and is considered day-to-day. Tight end streamer that was somewhat reliable, but is definitely just a streamer now. You can cut him and move on to a different tight end if need be.
Charger players are dropping like flies.
Like every year.
Yeah. Also, side note, I guess, actual football talk. In the first half of that game, they allowed Justin Herbert to throw the ball downfield. They did well. They were leading. Second half, nope. Just short passes again. Maybe that's why you lost. Joe Lombardi? Huh?
They do better when they are playing from behind because they have to open up the playbook.
So
Just about it.
But yeah, Chargers are going to Charger. Anyways, sorry.
If they're not worried about trying to be like we have to score and stop, they're like, yeah, cool. Check down. Just like the shallowest of throws.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson returned to practice. If you remember, he can come back to playing week 13. So he was able to return to practice now, but he'll be back week 13.
I mean, that's a few weeks for him to get some chemistry with somebody.
And it's not like Jacoby Brissett is really the answer. He looks like a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a capable backup.
Yeah, but it's still a backup.
Yeah.
Cardinals released running back Eno Benjamin, the once starter whenever James Conner was hurt.
Oh, that's not funny, but like he's in my you can drop him.
He was in my you could drop him too, and then I saw this news and I was like, oh well.
Oh, that's funny.
I guess the Cardinals read my notes, huh?
Oh well, I don't know who I'll have later then.
All right, that'll do it for the news. Let's move on to our Week 10 awards. All right, this first award is the play of the week that got you screaming, damn, at your TV. This is the Damn Award.
Damn!
All right, and the play that had me, I'll go first. Me first. Trent Sherfield's touchdown. Miami wide receiver had a nasty catch in the corner of the end zone, made the catch. I don't know how he even caught the ball, but then also got his toes down, toe touches. This was a game where Miami really dominated. It felt like they dominated from start to finish, never looked back. They didn't punt one time. Tua looked amazing, spread the ball around. Sherfield was the receiver on the receiving end of quite a bit of that, and made a nasty ass catch there in the corner.
Very, Santonio Holmes-esque, like just, and also Tua, I think, is now 7-0 when in games that he starts and finishes this season. So just he's perfect. Jalen Hurts can't say that anymore. So that Samoan slingshot is going for that MVP, baby. My play damn award goes to a guy that, step aside, Jonathan Taylor. I know you had over 100 yards on the ground in this game, and it looks like you're back to form. But the best running back performance of the day, or the running performance of the day, came from Matt Ryan. 39-yard run, his best of his career. If he was 37 years old and almost his bones turned to dust, he would have gotten in the end zone because there was basically nobody ahead of him. Green pastures all the way to the end zone. It was ridiculous how much room he had, and they only caught him because he is a 37-year-old man playing football. It's just, you love to see it. It came out of nowhere, and this team has life. They're back, baby! The Colts! Mr. Daddy Saturday is going to lead them to the playoffs. It's the shot in the arm they needed.
That's a good name, Daddy Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to think of Zaddy Saturday, but I was a little bit too extra. So we're just going to stick with Daddy Saturday. But yeah, he's good.
Good job containing yourself there.
Thank you. He's going to take him to the promised land. He's 1-0. He's undefeated as an NFL head coach. Granted, they played a terrible team in the Raiders, but this team looked much better than they had at basically any point in this season. And Matty Ice definitely helps with that. He should be the starter. So
almost like he was benched to tank.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more apparent that yes, but Jeff Saturday is going to pull a major league and not have the team tank, make it to the playoffs, make a run. Super Bowl?
No.
I don't see it, but
You just wait.
I'm taking over Ryan's notes, but this is the really obvious play of the week. It is that Justin Jefferson catch. Goes up. Honestly, it looks like an interception, and then somehow Jefferson just comes down with it. Don't know how it happened. Kind of just said, I'm more of a man than you, and ripped it from him. It was the chef's kiss catch.
it looked like Ryan if someone threw a bag of candy. Ain't no one else coming down with it but Ryan.
No. Ryan, if somebody throws a bag of candy, Ryan is heat seeker. No way in hell would somebody who had hands on it. Ryan would have just been in the air somehow. How'd you jump 12 feet in the air? Ryan would have been there catching it.
I'm telling you, that was what it looked like to me. Justin Jefferson going up. That man had the ball with two hands, and Jefferson was like, nah, I'm just going to grab it with one.
Yeah.
I only need one right now.
Yeah.
And
who are you? You're tiny.
And that was a 4th and 18 play.
Yeah.
I tried to find the GIF for the Twitter when I tweeted about it, and I couldn't find it. But for you, Ian,
Make a GIF.
I thought of it. It was like too late. I found one from the boys that worked as well, just as well. But Jefferson, in that moment, told the defender, "I'm bigger than you."
You went a little too loud. It clipped.
Did it
so
clip?
much.
Should I do it?
Oh, it was gone. It was just like, I'm
bigger. Should I do it again?
Back up a little bit. Yeah. I want to.
Justin Jefferson to the defender on that play said, "I'm bigger than you."
Better. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so Trent Sherfield, Matt Ryan, and Justin Jefferson, you guys are this week's Damn Award winners. All right, so this next award is a player who had a perfect matchup and did not get the job done. This is the You're Not That Guy, Pal award.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
And I got Chris Olave for the You're Not That Guy Pal Award. Coming into this week, the Steelers were the #1 team in fantasy points given up to the wide receiver position, and giving up the second most receiving yards and second most receiving touchdowns in the league. It was just really disappointing, the outcome for the wide receiver 16 coming into the week. Olave did not have himself a day, caught 3 passes on 5 targets for 40 yards, 5.5 fantasy points, finished outside the wide receiver 50. That's not going to help your fantasy team. He's been really up and down, more up than down, and I was really, really hoping that he was going to have an up week this week. Yeah, it was just really disappointing for him. I hope he can get back to it with the Saints offense.
Bring back Jameis.
Bring back Jameis.
The Red Rocket has served his purpose, and now it's time to bring back Crabman Jameis Winston.
Was it crab? I thought it was lobster.
I think it's crab.
Some crustacean, some type of crustacean. My guy is Cordarrelle Patterson. He was coming off a great comeback performance, in the week prior that saw him get 2 touchdowns and 14 touches on the day. So not a lot, like a definite, a good amount of touches, on his first return. This game, Atlanta just did terrible, just in all regards, basically. They were facing the Panthers, who ranked 30th against the run, but he only had 6 touches for 20 yards. It's just awful performance by a team that had been giving up over 27 fantasy points to the running back position each week. You hope that he can come back and versus the Bears. But this week was Thursday night. Yeah, it might have been the Thursday night curse. I don't know. But that entire backfield looked terrible. And I honestly, it creates questions about playing any of them moving forward. I know we were already moved past Huntley and Algier, but if he's going to have performances like this, even Patterson might, I don't know. It was bad. It was atrociously bad.
We love to see it. The week that he's coming back from being injured, they're like, let's run him 14 times. And then the week that he's like, you know what? He ran good last week. He's back. He'll be our main guy. Maybe Algier will be here taking some other touches. It'll be more of a committee, but it's still Patterson. They're like, how about fuck that? No, we're not going to have him at all in this game.
It was just enough for me to get him off my dynasty team.
Yeah.
That's a good move. Dynasty for sure. Get rid of him. Okay.
Keone.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ryan's that I'm stealing was David Montgomery. The Lions are, how do you say, really bad.
Oh.
And David Montgomery had 9 carries for 37 yards, 4 yards a carry. To be honest, 4 yards a carry is I think the bare minimum of what an NFL player should be. I think the average NFL player should get 4 yards a carry. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The average NFL running back should get 4 yards a carry. And I think it's really starting to show that David Montgomery is not the best running back on this team. I think he was really helped by the fact that Khalil Herbert went down with his hip injury. And I think Khalil Herbert may be stealing more and more opportunities, so long as he stays healthy. That's the only thing. How serious did we say this injury was?
We don't really know yet.
Yeah, so if it was just like a hip pointer, kind of happens, stings, don't want to play the rest of the game, but he's good next week, we can see Khalil Herbert eating more and more into this the running back share. But as of right now, Dave Montgomery, he really fumbled the bag this week.
And it doesn't help that Justin Fields, when he feels pressured, was just like, oh, yeah, I'll just run it for, a touchdown, a long touchdown.
140 something yards, right?
Yeah, it was another huge week on the ground.
Yeah.
I think he has 555 rush yards over the past 5 weeks, which is the most.
He has over 300 in the past 2 games alone. So I would believe you.
Well, he got
Yeah.
what one? He got almost 180 last week and 150 this week, almost.
Ish, basically, yes.
Man's
Rounding up a little bit,
man's a cheat code right now.
Yeah, ever
Mhm,
since
mhm.
they changed their offense. I mean, you can see it. They changed their whole offense, and they just let Justin
It
Fields do
worked.
whatever he wants, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Oh, yeah.
really has affected the running backs there.
You mean adapting your offense to what your quarterback needs works?
The most important position.
Holy shit! All right.
All right, Chris Olave, Cordell Patterson, and David Montgomery. You guys are this week's You're Not That Guy Pal Award winners. All right, in this last award, if you could go back in time and switch a player from your bench into your starting lineup, this is the If I Had One Wish Award.
If I had one wish.
All right, and my one wish would be Jeff Wilson Jr. Called on up to the starting lineup, please. Maybe you're calling me crazy for not even starting Wilson after last week where he finished as the running back 10. But if you look, he only carried the ball 9 times. Yeah, he caught a touchdown, so I figured his yards per carry would regress to the mean, and still think he wouldn't have a chance of getting a receiving touchdown, maybe getting one on the ground, but a receiving touchdown on this Dolphins offense, I just didn't see it happening again, so I didn't start him. Well, week 10, he carried the ball 17 times for 119 yards, and he got in the end zone on the ground. He finished with 21.3 fantasy points, was a top 10 running back on the week. I was completely wrong about Jeff Wilson this week. It seems like he has taken over that backfield from Raheem Mostert, and in a explosive offense, he's a start.
Absolutely. He in that first week we saw him get was it one more snap or whatever than Mostert, but clearly he's kind of taken the lead as the RB1 there. In an explosive offense, just an offense, a high-powered offense that is probably not going to slow down anytime soon. But an offense that picked things up this week when they really, really needed it was the Packers. They had to win this game, and their rookie wide receiver had basically his coming out game. Christian Watson, breakout performance, 3 touchdowns, 4 catches on 8 targets that resulted in over 100-yard game. All of those were career highs for him, even though it's a short career. Compared to what he's been doing the rest of the season, I think he's had 4 targets max in a game, and 34 yards were his best in a game so far this season. So this kind of came out of nowhere. But because he had done nothing so far, he was on my bench, and it would have been nice to see him and his over 30 plus points be on my team. He was the wide receiver 3 according to PFF on the week. But he had not finished higher than wide receiver 40. So he could be a guy who's on Aaron Rodgers' nice list now moving forward after this performance. With that, and if so, that would bode really well for his season moving forward.
All right, let me go with what Ryan gave me. Rachaad White. With Leonard Fournette out and limited, Rachaad White really took off, showed that he can be an electric back for this team. With Leonard Fournette, I mean, they're going on bye this week, and Fournette's supposed to come back next week. I still don't know if you want to sit there and be like, let's start Rachaad White. Probably not. If anything, with Fournette back, it goes back to more of a committee. But it actually made the Buccaneers have a decent run game for the first time this year. I think he's a really great asset on dynasty teams. I think he can show that even if maybe he takes over for Fournette in the next 2 years, or maybe they move on from him, or they move on from Fournette, something that he kind of has the stuff and he has the juice. And I think he showed it really well. He had 22 carries, 105 yards. He had the long of the day for 29. Real good rush. He just didn't get in the end zone, which sucks. And then, unfortunately, he didn't get any targets. But it doesn't seem like any running backs total had 2 targets complete. Like Fournette and Keyshawn Vaughn both had 1 each. So, yeah, Rachaad White.
All right, Jeff Wilson, Christian Watson, and Rachaad White. You guys are this week's If I Had One Wish Award winners. Now let's get into the waiver wire. All right, who are you adding this week? Who is 45% or less rostered?
So I'm gonna go a little unorthodox, or I just like trying to pick players that not everybody else might have. So I'm gonna go with my first guy as Cole Kmet. 38.8% rostered. He has 5 touchdowns in the past 3 weeks and is a main guy, a main option for Justin Fields if he chooses to throw the ball, which may be far and few between now with his running ability. But still, when he throws the ball, it can be Cole Kmet. I think he's had at least 4 targets in each game this season. I'm sorry, that's somebody else. I'm thinking ahead. Anyways, spoiler alert for later. My later pick of mine. He's averaging 57.5 yards over the past 2 weeks. They face Atlanta, then the Jets, and then Green Bay before the bye. So he's a good pickup, I think, if you need a tight end right now. If he, like we said earlier, he should be healthy. So I think because of his touchdown upside, I think that's what you need at the tight end position, especially if you're streaming. So Cole Kmet, go pick him up if you need that extra boost at tight end.
All right. I got Isaiah Pacheco, 23.1% rostered. The Chiefs starting running back. CEH has been dethroned, and it is Isaiah Pacheco. He carried the ball 16 times for 82 yards. He is their running back. Now, this is a pass-happy team. Jerick McKinnon's going to get some work there. He seems to be their passing down guy. But Isaiah Pacheco, if you need to go add someone, a high-powered offense, and he's out there running snaps. So,
all right. You said Ryan's number 2, Isaiah Pacheco, and Keone, you said Ryan's number 3, Cole Kmet. So I'm going to go with his number 1, Rachaad White. We just talked about him. He very well, like I said, could be stealing or sneaking his way into the rotation of running backs where he's actually getting good carries and good amount of work in there. Leonard Fournette is hurt. We did say that he should be back after the bye week, but you know what? People come back and they're not always 100%. So if they come back in more of a limited capacity, then Rachaad White is probably going to be the main focus in that backfield. And he's only 24.3% rostered. Definitely a bench stash because you don't know what's going to happen with Fournette the rest of the season. And in Dynasty, he should be on your team. Like 100% should be on a team already in Dynasty.
For sure. Just to speak about Rachaad White a little bit more, because he's also, I think, on both of our lists as well,
yeah,
JJ.
He's all 3 of us.
Yeah, mine and Keone both are number 2. So,
I think he had 4.9 yards per carry in this past game, whereas Fournette has only gotten around 4 yards per carry. The only game where he didn't get past that, I think he had a 4.1 in this past game, but otherwise, I think 6.0 yards per carry was in week 1. So Rachaad White's ran better than Fournette has been running. They also faced Cleveland in week 12, which just got ran over by Miami this past week. So yeah, get him as an insurance policy, bench stash, 24.4% rostered. Who knows? Yeah, who knows with this offense? And they no longer the head coach is no longer Bruce Arians. There's no bitching around with the
He's
running
still
backs there.
involved.
I know, but still.
But he,
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason Rachaad White is my number 2 and not my number 1 is because they're going to need the bye. So, I mean, pick him up. It's great. We've been telling you for weeks now. Ryan was the first one on it to tell you to pick up Rachaad White.
yeah.
But yeah, they're going into their bye. So if you need someone to pick up and maybe play, doesn't really help you this week. But yeah, he's definitely my number 2. My number 3, Christian Watson, who Keone talked about, seems to really have gained the trust of Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of injuries going around there in Green Bay. You know, talk of Randall Cobb might be coming back. Who knows what is happening with Romeo Doubs. Alan Lazard is there and very consistent, but he's not going to ever get 3 touchdowns in a single week. So Christian Watson, 5.8% rostered. He's out there. You can go pick him up everywhere. So,
I mean, we already talked about Ryan's 2 and 3. You guys did a good job on that. I have nothing to add. So, Keone, let's hear your third, which is a great one.
I have a second tight end for our waiver wire, and guess what? He has gotten at least 4 targets in each of his games this season. Don't know if you've heard that. Don't know if you've heard that before, but yeah. So Darren Waller has been put on IR. So at least for the next 4 weeks or so, Foster Moreau is going to be a guy that's starting on this team, barring any setback or anything like that. But he's going to be the number 1 tight end. He got a touchdown in this past game. If he can get a touchdown, and he can be looked at as the number 1 tight end for Derek Carr, maybe, because this team, like I think we talked about before, they're big 4. They're not always, they haven't been on the field really, and he can act as one of those ish in this game, interim big 4. Derek Carr seemed to throw to him and enjoy throwing to him this week, so I think he's a viable streaming option, especially while Darren Waller's on IR. They face Denver, then Seattle, and then the Chargers in the next few weeks. So Denver's might be tough, but I can see him doing okay against Seattle and the Chargers. But yeah, if anything, streaming option, just a possibility. 12.3% rostered.
all right.
Solid.
Is there anyone you're dropping? Benjamin?
Benjamin. That threw me for a loop.
It is crazy.
Yeah, because James Conner is back. I think James Conner is, barring whatever. But even my contingency was, even if James Conner gets injured because he does a lot, Benjamin was not even on the team. So,
yeah.
When you put him on the list, did you know he was dropped?
I did not.
So you're just saying drop him anyway. Great timing, Keone.
It works out perfectly, doesn't it?
He was literally going to be my drop too. So it hurts. Is there anyone that you should be looking for first on the waiver wire who's over 45% rostered so they couldn't be used for your list, but maybe people should be looking to add them?
Yes. Okay. It's Elijah Mitchell. He is in the backfield. He came back this past week for San Francisco off injury. He had 19 touches for 88 yards in this game versus the Chargers. In his game back, he can be a viable option for them in this high-powered offense if things start going right for them, or they get the momentum in a game. If he gets a consistent amount of touches, I know Christian McCaffrey's also in the backfield, but he had 19 touches. That's crazy. He has a chance to get in the end zone, it seems. I wouldn't put it past him every week.
Jimmy
He
Garoppolo's
runs
not going to throw for one, so
exactly right. He runs hard and he runs well. He had 4.9 yards per carry in this game. Yeah, I think, and they've also had their bye, so 51% rostered. Look at Elijah Mitchell if you can get him.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney is who I got, 47.5% rostered. So I picked someone who is still widely available, just barely didn't make the list. A lot of injuries going around there for Kansas City. Juju Smith-Schuster, I expect to miss at least 1 week. Mecole Hardman missed this week, and we kind of don't know where he stands. Yeah, Travis Kelce's going to be the number one there. But after that, man, Kadarius Toney kind of looks explosive, electric. Only caught 4 balls for 57 yards, but he got in the end zone, kind of rubbed the Giants' face and, did that one leg hop. Oh, my ankles hurt. Psych, boy, I'm in the end zone. Little dance move that he had. Just dirty to do that to the Giants, but he looks explosive, so I like that.
I think he also adjusted his glove on a route and still caught a pass.
That's baller right there.
Yeah.
Let me fix this.
Fix it and snatch.
Yeah. My one that I'm gonna go with is the opposite side of Kadarius Toney while Juju's out for this game is Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
For sure you were going with the Hobbit.
Rondell Moore?
Yeah.
I don't. Isn't he really too high? Yeah,
60-something%. I think you could use him for this.
Then let's go with him. I thought it was too high.
No. I think we've already set a precedent earlier in the season.
Yeah, but I thought it was like, hey, let's give some real advice.
I think
you guys should start Patrick Mahomes this week.
He's still available in a third of leagues, so I think that's pretty. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Rondell Moore. With what's his face? I can't think of it. With Zach Ertz out, he really is going off. He had his most targets this past week, his most receptions of the season, his most yards of the season. He just didn't get in the end zone. He's only had 1 touchdown. But he seems to be some guy that can eat a lot of those targets that Zach Ertz is going to leave on the table with him being out. So Marquise Brown is still out. D-Hop is D-Hop no matter what's going to happen, but in a pass-heavy offense kind of like this one, they're going to be needing a second person to catch the ball.
Also, just to speak to the numbers of you never know, even though he's in a third of leagues, he's not rostered. I was able to pick up Justin Fields this past week off the waiver wire.
Me too.
So you should there are leagues where he's going to be available. Exactly. It doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah, look who people are dropping, because people are dropping craziness to pick up, waiver wire ads. Yeah, I really like Rondell Moore too with Zach Ertz going out. A lot of people were excited about Greg Dortch at the beginning of the season. Whenever Rondell Moore was out, and Rondell Moore has completely taken over that role, and now I expect him to get the Zach Ertz receptions. I think you should go look for Rondell Moore.
Absolutely.
And that'll do it for our podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, whatever it's called on whatever platform you are listening to this on. Tell your friends, because we really need you guys to spread that word. Tell them who is helping you guys win your fantasy championships. Coming down to the playoffs here. We're getting to it, so just stay locked in, stay tuned. We got lots of stuff coming out. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at FF Daydreamers, Twitch, Monday and Wednesday nights, twitch.com/Daydreamer Media. We're here answering all you guys' questions. So if you guys got any, slide into that Twitch, follow us, click that notification bell. And then our website, fantasydaydreamers.com. Got all of our content there. Articles coming out if you like reading. Anything else?
I think
stay dreaming.
Stay dreaming.
Stay dreaming.